From the Bay, bruh, Southside 408, bruh, home of the Shark Tank, bruh, come and get a buzz. I'ma guarantee y'all love.
Ain't exclusive, if it ain't an M1 exclusive, it's your boy DQ. Welcome to the Online Quarantine Low Key Facts Podcast. Let's go ahead and bring the boy in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Do I sound clear?
You sound clear as shit, man. I wish I had that nice setup like you.
Do I got the DJ Envy thing going on?
Yeah, bro. You all blended out on me, though.
Oh, you know, had to throw it down on you. Nah, just playing. But I'm over here just experimenting the setup. This is the first time I'm ever filming out of the room. So technically our formal way of meeting. You get what I'm saying? So I'm glad I'm able to do it like this. Quarantine lockdown. This ain't no quarantine radio. We gonna keep it the podcast. And I'm accompanied by my guy coming all the way from Stockton, the Valley, Mr. Carlos Bryant himself.
What's up with you, man?
Going on, man? How you doing?
I'm feeling good. Yourself?
Shit, man. Just trying to survive, stay COVID free, you know?
Free, 100%.
How you holding up during these times, man?
Just grinding, working, experimenting with music, trying to get as much content out as possible, and just be me, man. Keep my head up, man. Get a little bit of workout in, man. You know what I'm saying? Get my cardio up.
Hell yeah. It's the best time, especially, I mean, right now you told me off camera that you're still working and you're still, you know, maximizing time with your job and all that. So even though that's happening and when you're locked in at the house, does that enable creativity for you? Do you feel like that enables kind of like productivity, or that's kind of like a everyday, you know what I mean?
Well, I think you got to keep your mind busy. That's what I've been just like adamant about doing, is like taking the time to focus on my health, focus on my relationships with people, focus on trying to make the next move with music as well. That's, you know, the forefront of why I do what I do. So there's no time to be depressed. You know what I mean? If you really want to move that next level.
Hell yeah. I think the better way to word that is more just like, you know, I've noticed a lot of people have been posting that stuff on their Twitter and their Snapchat. They're like, I'm losing my mind. Like, you know, they don't know how to handle these circumstances. This is the first time on almost a century that we've been forced to quarantine in some circumstances like this, you know, so it's really a different time and shit for some people. So you feel like you've been working on anything specific since this is happening?
Like you as well, like I'm counting on just my content calendar, you know what I mean? Like putting out consistent content every week, every day, putting out something, man. And right now I'm working on a little EP, 2-track project we're trying to finish up and get out there in June. So right now I'm just harping away every day, just trying to put a post up or something, bring value to my listeners, you know? And so
that's what's up. So are you tuned in with your listeners? You talk to people that give you that love? Because, you know, the thing is, I noticed some artists take the time to collect that data and maximize on their creativity, or they're just kind of like, you know, they're just doing their thing. And when it comes to creating music, you know, it's not deliberate. They're just passionate about it, and they don't really do the business aspect of collecting data from their consumers and people that listen to your music. Is that something that you do, or is that something you're just kind of like, you just do it for the love of the game?
I think a little bit of both. I think I'm finally just starting to really get into understanding how to operate as a business. I finally understood that, you know, me, Carlos Bryant, I am a business at the end of the day.
Hell yeah.
It sounds kind of cliche.
The enterprise.
But it's the truth. Like,
no, it's the facts. Yeah, it's the facts. Nipsey said that himself in an interview.
I got 100%. I got to be the CEO of it. You know what I mean? If I don't look at it like that, then I'm not going to be where I need to be. So that's where I'm at with it mentally right now. Just making the best moves. It kind of sucks because with creativity, it kind of like waves, different formats, different times. There's no really like, you know what I mean, formula for it. But you got to kind of make your own like formula. It seems a little robotic, but it keeps you like consistent. You know, especially when you're emerging, you got to be in front of people's faces right now.
Yeah, man. Social media has become a great tool for people in our generation. It's so crazy how like everybody can access information anytime they want, when there used to be a decade when people had to go to the library to get that information, or they had to go to a guy who knows a guy. So, you know, everyone's connected. Even though we're locked down in the houses, we're all connected, you know, so it's a great time to be alive. At the same time, it's not, because of this bullshit that's going down.
Exactly. 100%, man. 100%.
But, you know, I think when things like this happen, people capitalize in situations. I want to talk about Tory Lanez getting the deal with MTV on the quarantine radio. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? You know, he literally was just being himself on Instagram Live, and, you know, he kind of made his own brand from that. You know, what do you think? What's your take on that?
I think that's something we all aspire to do, just be ourselves organically and be able to create that kind of lane. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to do something you just like to do, and all of a sudden now you're getting paid to do it. You know what I So I think
Facts.
that's very inspirational for me and a lot of other creatives. Is like not to hold yourself back. I'm pretty sure he probably thought in his head like, oh, I shouldn't do this quarantine thing. You know what I'm saying? He probably,
Yeah.
but he did it, and look what it brought him. So it's like you can't double think or overthink the things that are organic. If you feel it's right, just do it in the moment. You know what I mean? You can
Agreed.
reassess what it really is later. So
that's pretty much what this is
man.
right now. That's pretty much what this is right now. I was over here, you know, you were the only. I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like since the quarantine happened, like a week after, I had a couple people hit me up. They were trying to create content from like entrepreneurs, from you know the artists that I do content with. But I've been kind of giving them the runaround, like you know, I'm trying to figure out my situation. Let me get this thing figured out. And you were the one consistently pressing me, man. You're like, man, we got to get this thing rolling, man. We got to get this content going. And I respect it. That's why I was like, you know what, this is a sign. I got to get it. If I don't get it now, I'm never going to get it. So
100%,
you know, I thank you for that. You know, this is my shout out to
100%.
you. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. And now
hey, I've been following your content for quite some time. I think, like I told you, like a year and a half or so, like maybe a little more.
Sure.
Like
for sure.
I've been commenting because I want to just have organic conversation with organic people that are really about the industry and just put it out there, man, and let people get these sound bites so they can understand what goes on.
We gonna deliver something nice for the people, man. I think a lot of people in San Jose are. I mean, let me reword this because there's a lot of directions to go this. Because for one, I'm a South Bay cat. You know, I'm from South San Jose, born and raised. You know, I got my homie over here from the Valley in Stockton, and we're we're from underrepresented communities. If you think about it,
100%, 100%.
Bay Area is known for Oakland, San Francisco, and you know all these other cities in the mesh. But there's so much culture that's around that people don't take time to recognize. And that's why I feel like our community has like people probably don't tell them that because there's a culture of like people that do what you do in your industry talk shit about one another. But when you're outside of that region and I'm looking outside in, I'm looking at damn, like these guys got no representation, but they still put in that work. They're doing their own editing, they're doing their own content, they're marketing, distributing. Like we doing everything, the whole integration vertically, like
100%, only way.
So that's why I feel like, you know, it's only a matter of time when our opportunity presents itself. You know, I've already seen other people in the Stockton community and the culture making a rise, like YMBNL. There's another artist I've been following. I forgot his name, yourself and Haiti Baby. And I'm obviously forgetting some names. I got to do more due diligence, but I'm definitely recognizing the city as a whole. I see it as like the Compton of the Bay Area because, you know, the political aspect of it, you know, financially, the low economic area and the crime and all that. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, that's what gentrification has caused here in the Bay Area. And it's caused a lot of people that are homegrown in the culture, in the community to be pushed to the valley. And it's not a bad thing. Sometimes people come up because they're able to live in better circumstances, bigger house, you know, nicer neighborhoods. But at the same time, you know, you're getting pushed away from what made you who you were. You know, were you born and raised in Stockton? Or?
Born and raised Stockton, California, my whole life. I love it, man.
So it's like
made me who I am, man.
And now there's a community and a culture being manifested in Stockton as we speak. You know, this is something that has manifested over time. And same thing with San Jose. You know, San Jose was like, you know, a very, very underrepresented city. I used to feel like it was Modesto at a time period when I was a kid. You know, like San Jose wasn't talked about like on movies or on shows on the news. You know, if it was local news. So like just my vision growing up, it just didn't seem like an LA or like a Miami or like a New York.
And
now San Jose is branded as Silicon Valley. When you think about Silicon Valley, people think of like tech and they think of like San Francisco, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara, San Jose. And San Jose has made a name for itself in that industry. But when it comes to the culture, when it comes to hip hop, fashion, all that shit that people connect with each other with, that's like it's a very underrepresented community. But if you go on Thizzler and you go on some other platforms that give recognition to these small groups, you see that there's talent. You see that there's actual people that are willing to be leaders in the game, not just people to just stand around and be sheep. You know what I mean? Traxamillion, you know, he paved the way for the Bay Area and the music scene, and he's from South San Jose. Or at least he was raised in South San Jose at a time period in his life. That's all I know, but you get my point, though, right?
Hey, 100%.
Obviously, I want to leave my city because I'm trying to trying to make a name for my city and myself, and in the process acknowledge people that are putting in that same work. So I mean, honestly, in order for me to be a leader in the game, I have to be a fan of the game, you know. And I'm pretty sure you understand that because there's
Yep.
people that influence you that you were like, oh man, like I like his style, I like the way he does this, you know. So who are some people that influence you in what you do in your music?
I think Nipsey, just how he ran this whole thing, is just super dope. And like the last 2 years, like really watching the success he was having, like that has triggered something to me. Also on top of that, I'm a long time like J. Cole head. Like that was like my favorite.
J. Cole.
Like 2000, man. Like when his first mixtapes were coming out, I was just blasting them, riding the bus to school every day, and that kind of formulated my mission. I started writing, and then like, you know what I'm saying, I'm 10 years later from that point, I'm still like a rookie, you know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to get there, and it's a beautiful feeling. So guys like that, man, I'm really about the business moguls, man. I really like the Jay-Z's of the game and like how they move and how they're able to stay with longevity for 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? That shit's crazy to me, man.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm looking. That's what I'm looking at, man. It's longevity. Those are some guys, you know what I mean, I really look up to.
So do you feel like you became a fan of like Jay-Z, for example, more when he got into the business mogul part of his career, or like the early days when he was, you know, with Rockefeller and, you know, Def Jam and all that situation?
I mean, he always has some tunes. He was never like my favorite artist, but like how he manifested to become like from this drug dealer to like this crazy business mogul to me is amazing, man. I love it.
Yeah. Man, this COVID-19, bro, you know, a lot of people in the Bay Area are out of their houses smoking blunts with their homies on the block. You know, they go into the functions at the kickbacks on the low. You know, what's your take on that, bro? Do you feel like people are not taking this COVID seriously, or you feel like we're just, you know, not taking the time to be informed?
I think a lot of people aren't taking it seriously. I think at first people weren't taking it serious at all. I think people kind of buckled down a little bit more.
For sure.
But I still feel like people aren't taking it serious. And I understand like they kind of marketed that it was a disease or like a something that could only affect older people.
Yeah,
so a lot of people, you know, a lot of people in our age range was like, oh, we good, we're going out. Da, da, da.
Yeah, facts.
And I think, man, you got to treat everything as serious, man, because none of us are really doctors. We don't know, you know what I'm saying? So we can't just be like, oh, no, that's not true. That's conspiracy.
Exactly.
Like, whatever you think it may be, man, I'm going to try and do the best I can to stay safe, you know what I'm saying? I got my grandmother, you know what I'm saying? I got other older family members, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure, like, you know what I'm saying? I take the precautions for them, you know what I mean? And other people around me.
Most definitely. I think
that's what I'm saying on.
I think this situation has really shed light on, you know, what people find credible and not credible. Because, you know, in the beginning, in like January time period, the news is saying like, oh, you don't know the symptoms, they can't identify, you know, who it affects most, and then they were informing us like, oh, you can't get infected if you're within 6 feet distance. Now there's social distancing, and you know they contradict themselves. So it's like we're living in a time period where like even CNN and Fox News and all these credible mediums are like now being questioned because, you know, when TMZ came out when Kobe passed away, like people questioned it, but they were the first ones to give out the factual information, right? And then recently, Kim Jong, the president of North Korea, they had this whole theory that he had died or something, and TMZ was the first one to post it. And then now it became something that's like, oh, it's not even confirmed yet. So it's like we don't even know who to believe, you know? So when it comes to the COVID thing, it's a tough thing to be a part of, you know, if you're on the front end of telling the society that we got to do this and that, you know, like our governor of California, I feel like handling it pretty good because, you know, we have flattened the curve a certain way. Right now, we're in, what day is it today? It's the 29th. It's about to be May 1st. They extended the lockdown to the 31st, so now we have another month. You know, I'm pretty sure in the beginning, people were seeing this as like, oh, I got vacation from work. I got vacation from school. You know, they're all a little excited about the idea of being away. Now it's like, shit, people are struggling making their next rent payment. They're worried about, you know, food. There's rumors about the supply chain getting fucked up for like the meat at the Safeways and distributions. So it's all weird. But the only thing I'm going to chime in on that is when it comes to people being out, I can say I'm guilty of it because I was getting my burritos at La Costa on the south side because I love my burritos, but I slowed it down a little bit. slowed down a little bit as I started doing my research and understanding the significance of the situation. And you know, even people that are in medical, you know, I know people that work in medical that are in the front lines of the situation, and they're telling us facts. You know, they're telling us stuff that isn't even being reported on the news. And it makes you realize, like, you know, the first COVID death in the Bay Area was in San Jose, and wasn't even counted as a COVID death until 6 weeks after they found out the 8 cases that happened in Santa Clara County. So it's like stuff like that, you know, it's like a lack of information from people that we find trusted, but then at the same time, it's like, you know, this shit's real, you know, this shit ain't no joke. People are really affected by this, you know?
Yeah, for real. I think one thing to chime in on that, to piggyback on that, it's just like, I'm learning kind of like, man, like, there's different, you can't always trust mainstream media for one. You got to kind of do your own research. There's a lot of information in books and stuff like that, man, that we neglect, and we just kind of go, because everybody, man, all these outlets, they get paid for getting all these views. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if they put the story out, first, they're gonna get love for it. So they just run with it without the complete facts. So you gotta look at different streams of media that are actually trying to report, just report, not for like a view or like, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta just do your homework. So it's tough, but
Yeah, man. So to the folks listening, to the folks consuming the content when we post, just know, stay home. Only go use essential services, whether it's maintenance for your car, getting some groceries, getting some gas. But aside from that, you should not be wasting time going on the block, trying to hang out with the homies and shit like that. Because especially people that are younger, you don't even know if you have the symptoms or not. So we'll leave it at that.
100%. Stay home. Stay home, please.